Good afternoon and welcome to SM Live. Back for live stream Friday. It's great to have you with us again for our 8th live stream show. So yeah, we've been doing it for 8 weeks now. It's quite cool. It's gone quick. So we've got, as always, a great show planned this afternoon. So we're going to be joined by Howard to take us through some of the exciting new content. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Chris Stott. I'm the SalesMaster CEO. So I'm going to hand over to Howard for his introduction. So Howard, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been really good, and obviously really excited to join this call today and to demonstrate everything new that we've got to show. So yeah.
Brilliant. No, that's good. And I think, yeah, this show in particular is one we've referenced a couple of times actually on the last couple of shows regarding stock sharing. So quite an exciting one today. So you want to tell us a bit about what we got planned?
Yeah, absolutely. So last week we did very much sharing across your own account. So having visibility across sales teams within the same dealer group or the same logging into the same environment. And this week we kind of take that to another level, and we're going to look at how we can share that across accounts. So one SalesMaster user to another within a separate account. So yeah, really exciting, and it really lends itself into things we've been doing in the industry from a tactical perspective, and a long list or group of stock.
Yeah, sure.
Share across.
And we've mentioned it, I suppose, the real-time sharing of stock, as you mentioned, within what we would call an account, but that could mean a dealer group or a manufacturer network or kind of any use case for SalesMaster previously. But what sort of use cases would this come into play? Because obviously that's more private stock and information for that business. This is moving into a slightly different territory where you want to sort of share that stock with another party.
Yeah, absolutely. So having lot more people having access to SalesMaster and having their own unique account. So whether you be a dealer or a manufacturer or a leasing company, you have a long list. You have your own individual stock, but you then may have stock that's shared into you as well. So and being able to clearly define that and manage that within the app. So yeah, it's a very powerful kind of transformation for us to be able to offer this as a service.
And I guess in a time where the industry is becoming more inventory led, getting that stock, that real-time view of the stock across different aspects of the business and keeping it all in sync is even kind of more important than ever. So hopefully a suitably useful product for the next period of the industry with the digital shift. So in terms of the viewers today, I can see we've got some new people on, so it's great to have you with us. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It'd be great to have you join the SalesMaster YouTube channel. We've got more content planned over the next few weeks and months, so good to build that user base. And obviously, as always, don't forget to put your comments into the chat. We've got Annette moderating, so Annette will be fielding any comments that come in. They'll send through to Howard and I, and then we'll put those on the screen so we can then answer that point and share that with you all. So yes, we'd love to hear from you. And if you're not watching this live and you're watching it back afterwards, because all the videos are on our YouTube channel, then just get in touch via the YouTube comments on the videos, or send us a message in, or speak to one of the guys in the team, and we'll get that surfaced into the next live stream. So okay, so with that in mind, Howard, shall we kick off?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do first? Yeah, I've come back to me for a sec. If you want to just sort out your screen.
Mm-hmm. I think the first bit we'll do is we'll identify some vehicles. So just to kind of display that I'm in one account, and you're in another.
Yeah.
So you're a partner that's. I'm going to give access to a list of stock or a certain specific volume of stock across to you. So this hopefully will work and come across to you as well.
Right. Okay, so very useful for me to put my screen up as well, then, and we'll go to the split screen view, I guess, to share the stock between us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just do that. Okay, so we should now be able to see. Yeah, that's it. We've got Howard's screen and both cameras on picture in picture. Cool. So yes, ready to go when you are, mate.
Excellent. So yeah, everyone knows which one's mine and which one's yours then.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So that's fantastic. So obviously I can drill down into the group of stock that I may want to share across to yourself. So I can use the search function to drill down into those specific vehicles. Because the way in which we're going to operate this, there's two different ways. One, we can set a rule within the system, so to be able to say, actually, all my Volkswagen stock that's available, please share to yourself, to another destination or another StockBook user.
So in this particular environment, you're configured as a dealer group or as an OEM operator, and I'm set as another business that's still got my own stock in SalesMaster. So I've got my own cars in there that I can see and manage. Yep. So it's effectively two SalesMaster accounts sharing between those accounts, obviously with a secure yep. data sharing driven by permissions. So okay, yeah, let's go for that. Sounds good.
Yeah. And as me as the owning account, having that full control on that stock as well. So I'm going to show you that and what I'm sharing and where. Okay. So that could be to multiple different channels that I share. I can share different stock to, or I can share all of it. I'll show you how that's done.
So just for the viewers, I suppose it's also worth highlighting that we're in two different accounts here. I guess if I look, show the URL actually of my screen, you'll be able to see. So I'm actually logged into fleetbase.salesmasterdemo.co.uk. And Howard, you're logged into the StockBook demo account as well. So even though we've got a slightly different, sort of similar count of vehicles in the accounts, it's actually different data that you're looking at. So your 2,500 vehicles are. Oh, there you go. There's a lot more. Yeah. You've got 21,500 vehicles, and I've got 2,234. So
okay,
yeah, that's
not quite as similar.
No, not now. No.
Yeah. So I was just drilling down into those vehicles. And one thing we did show on one of our previous videos. I think it was one of our first ones. Now that we're on the eighth video, but there was around actually finding vehicles really quickly by using order numbers or Comm numbers as they're more frequently known, and being able to just drop that in and finding those vehicles really quickly. Yeah,
I love this. This is really popular for this kind of tactical batch of stock, isn't it? So it's a great feature. Okay, yeah, good start.
Yeah, we make it really simple to be able to find selected vehicles, but this is a great way of saying, I've received a list of stock that is in this tactical campaign for this example, and I've got some Comm numbers on each of those vehicles, and I just want to find them really quickly. So I can go straight into Search Builder like so, drop down the column for specific searching, and then I simply just select order number, and then I can paste all of those ones in that I've got. So that's just taken out of a list that I've received, and then as soon as I hit apply, it'll drill down and just find those 38 vehicles that are included.
And that doesn't matter where you've copied that list from. So it could be a spreadsheet, it could be a text file, or whatever, in terms of just as long as you can get that list of order numbers or Comm numbers in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So it's taken me down from the 21,500 vehicles to 38 extremely quickly. And identify those vehicles in question. Nice. And these are the ones I want to share with you, and people that have seen the system before or have SalesMaster will know certainly of this functionality of where I can select them using the checkbox on the left hand side. In this case, I've just selected all the first 30, and then I'm gonna select all 38 of them. Okay, so these are the ones that I want to share across to you. In this example, what you will notice that some of these vehicles are protected as well. So, and we'll come on to that shortly of what will happen with those vehicles. So, there are. I think there's probably 5 or 6, maybe 7 actually that are protected. But the rest of them, but we're going to tag them all.
Okay.
So as soon as I go into manage tags, this is where we were I think in previous videos where you wanted to highlight maybe a campaign for your own internal purpose, to highlight to everyone within who's got access to your account in the same account. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a tag, but we're actually going to push it across to stock or data sharing partners in this instance. So if I select that, and then I can just add in what I want to call it. So I'm just going to call it partner, like so. And as soon as I update those vehicles, I've set something in the background to say if I select anything that if I tag anything with the word partner as a tag, it will push across to my partners.
Cool. So
in this case, hopefully yourself.
And this is the logic that the product guys have put into the system. Obviously, there's a lot of complexities around the data sharing rules, but in this instance, it's simplified in that logic is handled obviously in the platform, and you're just doing a simple tag to designate these sharing rules that have already been set up. Cool. Okay, so how am I finding those? Just search by tag partner, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I got 30.
Okay,
so what's the difference?
The reason, so the difference is, so I've got 38 that I've tagged, and the difference is these vehicles are protected. So at this stage, I don't want to share those ones at this point. Obviously, I can change that, and we'll do one of them or a couple of them in a second. So what you'll notice is hopefully I've then got 8 that are protected vehicles in my list, which I certainly have. And if I want to see that in a quick shot, I can actually select show me the protected ones. There should be 8. And
there is, yes. Brilliant.
There you go. So you won't see those 8. But what I can do with those 8, of course, is I can bulk that status change on them, like so. Sales status, and then update that to all of available, like so.
Okay, cool. So that's obviously a permission-driven setting. Again, you've got permission to do that. So the data sharing, but you've also got permission to bulk update the sales status. So, and does that then happen in real time now? So if I refresh the list on my end?
That should then bring them through.
Got it. Yeah, 38. Yeah.
Excellent.
Well done.
Okay,
so what's next?
So those vehicles could be shared with multiple channels. In this instance, I'm only sharing them to your account, to yourself, and your team potentially. So anyone that's got access to that, it is all access led. So we use it along the lines of permissions that say actually if I have access to see shared stock, I see that shared stock, and and you may not. So that can be controlled within each individual count and user as well.
So I guess like you've demonstrated before, if I just go in and customize that list at my end, so open column chooser, I'm going to remove the mileage because these are new cars we've just done. But that's fine, leave it like that, and then save that as a view for me. So if I save that as shared, not quite spelled correctly, shared stock.
Don't worry, I had that.
And if I save that and pin that as a tab on my view, I'm going to see shared stock separately to my normal stock. So that's a real time saver for anyone that's used this sort of kind of campaign management before in SalesMaster. You quite often would have to log into different environments, and this obviously removes the need to do that. So you can still use SalesMaster and all the benefits that you've got for your business, but you've also now got real-time view of shared stock into your own account. So and obviously you can search on both aspects at the same time if you're just in that default view, or separate them accordingly. So that's a real kind of step forward in terms of that real-time master inventory view.
Yeah, and what I'll notice on my view of the data is I get to see the tag. So I can see those vehicles are tagged, so I can create a header exactly the same as you've done, and even report on that success of that campaign by taking an extract. But also it does actually show a little tag next to the color.
Got it.
Between the color and the description. So I can see that what's being shared, but or got a tag on it. But hopefully on your view of that, it's probably a handshake.
It is. I have got a tag as well on this particular one, but it's a combination of the two account types, I think. So how this is all available cars, but how does it treat if a car's sold? How would that just come off the list automatically from my side?
Yes, it would. Very much like how we did on the protected. You can't see the protected vehicles. You can't see vehicles that go sold. So once a vehicle is sold, and hopefully we'll go through the process shortly of how you request a vehicle or put a vehicle under negotiation, but it just updates everybody's. So if I am sharing this with multiple channel or multiple StockBook users, as a vehicle is sold by any of, it updates everybody's. So it's gone. Once a vehicle is sold, it is removed off the list.
Cool. So can you, if you take one of those off now, and then I'll refresh. Also, if you marked it as sold in your business, so just a simple mark as sale, as you've done and demonstrated many times, that would in turn change the list at my end. So, too many windows. 37. Yes, banging. Cool.
There you go. So, but hopefully everyone can see on my screen, because I am the owning account, I can see that vehicle is sold. Yeah. So I still have the visibility of that. And
can I sell one of those vehicles as well? How does that bit work?
You can, and we do this slightly different. Now we can give the option for you as the third party seeing that vehicle to be able to just mark the vehicle as sold. Very similar or exactly the same as I just did. But what we also look to do is actually to create more of a reference. So when it does come to me as almost a sales request, as opposed to just taking the stock as and when you want to, is actually giving me a bit of a kind of stopgap to say, actually, is that a really
some kind of approval process, so that because with a normal SalesMaster account, you've got full permissions to sell. The idea would be usually to sell each other's stock from salespeople across different locations. But in this instance, where it's not directly my stock, it's just shared stock coming into my account, there needs to be some kind of approval process on that. Okay, so that'll be good to just before we get into that, let's just cut back to the cameras, because I think when again in another previous sort of use case of this, it can often be really fiddly to manage campaign cars. If you've done that like that batch, you tag 38 cars and you want to distribute that. Obviously 38 is quite a low number, but if you had several hundred vehicles in that pot and you wanted to broadcast them across a number of outlets and a number of salespeople, then this sort of approval piece is a massive kind of efficiency gain and time saver, isn't it? What do people do at the moment without the system to do this? So how would you manage something like that in an example? I know not naming any names, but how do we what does this supersede, I guess?
I think it's spreadsheets and it's emails and it's phone calls that go on within the businesses of trying to, you would have an email. I would send you a list of this stock every day or once a week and say, look, these are the 38 vehicles we've got as a tactical campaign. Let me know what you want. Yeah. So instantly the stock list becomes out of date at the point where I sent it, or even when I've downloaded it. To send it across. So this then, if I'm using this in my own business, and like we just did, I can sell the vehicles and I can put them on hold or under negotiation. But then I'm sharing them with you, and you can then do the same thing as well. So it just keeps everything in sync and in real time. And I might be sharing it outside as well. I might be, as we talked about in previous live streams around sharing to media partners or
I think that's the other bit that was just going through my head then, in terms of it's coming back to that master inventory point again, isn't it? Because if you're just sending feeds of stock out, it will only ever be an illustration of what you had at that time. So it's powering online advertising really, I guess. So whereas this is actual inventory of vehicles that are available for sale, and that's quite a big difference. That's going to be a key thing. Okay, well let's go back and show us how we do it in SalesMaster then.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, hopefully you're back.
I am. We're both back on the screen. Don't forget, if you've got, Annette said if you've got any questions, please pop them in here. So obviously, don't forget that. Just send any chats through, and we'll pick that up as we go. But let's look at this approval process then.
Yeah, and just jumping on Annette's point there, yeah, that we can be, obviously people can watch this back any time, but there can be some really almost bespoke use cases for this.
Yeah.
And we've done it in many different forms and ways to be able to do this, and we're probably showing many options in this stream. But to talk to us about this, we move forward really quickly on having this.
Yeah, no, good point. It is. It's the configuration that would really make or tailor it for each use case. So the platform is obviously standardized and lots of tech behind it to allow these data sharing rules. But in terms of configuring it for your use case, that's something that obviously we could customize.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully you can click into one of those vehicles.
Yeah. So I'll just pick this Golf here. Okay, yeah. And I've got, it says that it's been shared by StockBook South Cars, so with a reference number. So that's just giving me again, it's another prompt that's a shared vehicle rather than my own stock, presumably. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've used in the past for telephone numbers as well. Different individuals owning that stock. So if you clicked onto that vehicle, you'd see the telephone number of the dealer or wherever it was owned from.
So if you wanted if it was under negotiation, or if there was some other sort of in between sales status and you wanted more information to validate that, then it's handy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I presume I'm heading towards the sale tab here.
You are, yes, exactly where you're going.
Cool. So
you might have the permission as
I do,
well,
yeah.
to
Request
to put that
to
vehicle under.
Oh right, I see what you mean. So, sorry, up at the top,
yeah.
I've got available under negotiation and transferred as my sales status option. So
again,
I could put it under negotiation then.
You could do, but I don't want you to do that. But you could do because I've given you the permission on my stock to be able to do that.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
But interestingly, what you'll do now is you're going to select to request that vehicle, or sale request that vehicle.
Yeah.
And the moment you do that, that actually puts the vehicle under negotiation anyway.
Oh right, cool. Okay, so
you've now put that vehicle under negotiation on everyone's view.
So it's like, while this is occurring and I'm doing this bit, it's already flagged, so to stop somebody else doing it at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
And only myself as the owner of the stock can see who put that under negotiation. So other parties that are seeing the stock would see it's under negotiation but wouldn't know who.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It all secure.
Cool. So I've got a prompt saying, success, vehicle sale request was successfully created. So I've just added some details onto that, and it's taken me back to the list at this stage. But I can see, if I go back to the shared stock, it's actually gone, I think, from my list actually. So that's good. Okay.
So, you can recall that though, and I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
So where we're going to move to now. So you've sent me a request for a specific vehicle. I in turn would receive an email to tell me that you've requested that. So just a prompt to say that had occurred. But I also now I can go into this. If I hover over vehicles at the top here, there's a little header there called sales. And when I select on sales, I should see a list of sales that have been requested. And there's one sitting at the top.
There's mine at the top, the Volkswagen Golf.
Okay.
Yep.
So this functionality within SalesMaster works very similar to vehicles. So you'll notice the view of the view of the screen is really similar. I've got the ability to be able to search. I've got save views and search builder and column chooser in there as well. So I can design it how I want it to be.
Yeah, that's the user, the product guys pushing the UI there and user experience to try and keep it so you don't have to relearn something else. It works in the same way. It's familiar to you. You can operate all the same tools. So.
Absolutely. And then if I click into this, it very much like a vehicle show. It will give me all the information that you completed there. So hopefully that matches. And then I've got the ability with these two big buttons here, one to either reject or the other to accept. If I reject the vehicle, it will just go back to being available and become display back again for you and for all the other parties. But I'm simply just going to accept that vehicle. Am I sure? Yes, I'm sure I want to accept it in this case. And that vehicle will then go accepted. And that will ping you an email as well to say that that vehicle has been accepted as a request.
Brilliant. So that's super fast, and all logged in the system, date and time stamped, usernames. So there's no kind of I suppose arguments about who sold that when. It's all captured as part of the audit file.
Yeah, and there it is. So as you was speaking there, I just brought up the activity. I can see who requested it, when it was requested, and then who accepted it and when.
Brilliant. So, and what about me for seeing those transfers? Presumably, if I've got permission, I can just go into that as well?
Yeah, you can just go into sales as well, and you would then see
Oh yes, transfers is something different. That is going to be coming soon. So, but yeah, so sales, cool. Okay, so I can see that's the one that you accept at the top, and so basically I would only see my sales, whereas you would see all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You only see the ones that you have requested.
Yeah.
Very
good. I will
see everyone's.
Yeah. So. Okay, it's a nice one. That's brilliant to show that. And let's just cut back to the main screens again, Cam. So that again, just coming back to the point of what happens without that. If you've got, depending on the size of that campaign and the size of the stock pool and therefore the resource requirements, it's a huge time saver in terms of those list views, like we've done before on StockBook. In terms of the layout, you can create those work queues. We could actually create work queues on the sales as well, so that they could be processed, haven't they? So it's quite if you had a team of people processing that kind of thing, if it's a big campaign with a lot of vehicles, you can distribute the work accordingly with everyone seeing it all in one real-time view.
Yeah, and create those reports as you mentioned. You can look, how many sales requests did I accept like this week, last week, and you create them as workflows or reporting coming back to you all the time. So really, and we've gone a step further. Sorry, I know you're going to just say something there, but we've gone a little bit of a step further where we've actually got a completed action on the vehicles as well. So on the request, where it's gone requested, then accepted, and then it can now go completed as well.
Got it, which is another, if there was another onward action in another system. So quite often there's a process needed on the factory system or something else to secure that vehicle, that you could then basically distribute that chunk of work as well.
Correct.
Brilliant. And those sales statuses, those kind of vehicle records, all of this functionality, it's also worth pointing out that it's all available on our API as well. So a lot of the stock, the way we pull together stock sharing, both with any partner, be it in the SalesMaster application or onward integrations to feed other sources, it's the same technology. So it's all connected in real time, whether you're looking at the API or using the application, as Howard's just demonstrated. So well, that's really good. I think there's super examples of how that could improve things. Should we let's go back and do another one just to show a couple of examples on that?
Yeah. Hopefully we're both back.
We are indeed. Paul, your picture's disappeared. You're not on picture-in-picture at the moment. So
there you go.
There you are. You're back.
Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, should we...
Yeah, so I can share more vehicles with you. Again, what we could show is actually when I change the under negotiation at that stage as well.
Yeah.
Or you could put
I could do something under negotiation. Yeah. The other thing I was going to show as well was on was it AllTrack. To see whether I haven't got any other of those in my account. I just wondered if I had some similar cars, because I should be able to see the cars that are shared and the ones that are my own in one list as well. I've chosen to separate them, but in this case, so actually, if you just drop in something that I have more likely to have, perhaps. What else? If you just added another couple of cars, have you? A1 Sportback.
I haven't done yet. I haven't done yet.
It's because they're sold.
The
I see. Okay, that's why
yeah.
they're not showing. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see the sold. I can see one that's sold awaiting processing. So that at that stage is just a requested point.
Yes.
So it can sit as a workflow for me.
Got it.
So I can look at any time and say, actually, just show me all the vehicles that are at that stage, which is just that one.
Fine, makes sense. Okay, fine. Well, if I'll just go back to the shared stock then, go into a couple of those cars. So I've got somebody interested in those. I'm not quite ready to do the request yet. You've given me permission to be able to set them as under negotiation, so I can go in and search for the. So if we want to say I can't wait for a car that's ordered because that's too far away. So I'm going to take those out of my list. I didn't actually spell that correctly. Let's look for the ones that are at storage centre instead. There we go. So I'm going to pick those, and I'm going to pick one of those and say it's under negotiation. And they're also considering the red one as well. So I've just done that. So all of that again,
done a couple.
Is date and time stamped as who's done that. So it'll be on the record to say I've done that under negotiation movement. And at your end, yep, you can see them all as under negotiation. Yeah.
And that, and of course, with under negotiation, that period of time can be set as required.
Yes.
And as the owning account, interestingly, some really good work that the product team have done for us recently is that I get permission to set what the under negotiation period is to your account.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So your vehicles that you own as the dealer.
Yeah.
In this case, they're only 2 hours. You've got 2 hours, and then they'll trip back.
And this is demonstrated with the time with that locked out status up there, isn't it? So sales status locked. It's changed to under negotiation. So another user couldn't change that now because it's locked to under negotiation based on the time limit that you've specified in that configuration. But it doesn't need to be the same. Doesn't need to be the same to my own stock. So if you want to have that kind of 90-minute, 2 hour rule, or an hour or something on your own stock, but it needs a bit longer for that approval process on some of the shared stock, we can set that to a few hours if necessary.
Yeah, I might want to do it for 24 hours and give you a bit of grace on that vehicle.
Got you. And then if I'm now the person so I've done this under negotiation on this this red Golf, I want to now request that. I just basically going to go and unlock it and then go to the sales tab and request the sale and do exactly what we did this time. So it's another one for SalesMaster. This one is going to be for you. Same.
Yeah.
So these the other point on these fields, so where I've got the asterisk, they're mandatory fields, and again, this is an example of some of the things that have been tailored to the appropriate kind of use case, but they're largely the standard fields that you would have. So basically, just confirming that it's a genuine order and not just a request for that vehicle. This is putting in some more information about the purchase. So okay, I've done that. So and that should now again be on my sales channel as requested, and the same at your end. You've got it. Brilliant.
It has. There you go.
Good stuff. Well, I think
there you go.
there's going to be a lot of use cases for that coming up. I think with as I say, pockets of different stock. The industry is becoming more inventory led, as we know, and being able to identify vehicles that aren't physical. So if you're looking ahead and looking at vehicles that are in the pipeline, we could do this sort of stuff even on factory order and shipment vehicles. So if they're not yet in the UK, get a pack of vehicles and then share them across the account accordingly, managing who's got access. Excellent. Well, that takes us pretty much to the end of the show, I think. So if we go back to your camera, Howard, we'll just wrap up. So been another useful one today. Thank you for demonstrating again, as always, and
no problem.
Seems to go flawlessly. So unlike the start of the show for me, where there was too many buttons to press, but but no, thanks everyone for tuning in or watching back if you're doing that. Keen to hear from you around other bits of content that you would like covering in the shows. We are going to talk a bit more about stock sharing in upcoming shows. We've got a few different other use cases for that, which are quite exciting and also complement some of the stuff we've just shown you today. So all these things just really to remind you that the SalesMaster master inventory position spanning not just one use case within a dealer network or even an OEM. It's actually joining all those aspects of the industry together. So some exciting bits to come. Thanks very much. Been great to have you with us today. So I'm Chris Stott. Howard, thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great weekend and look after yourselves.